need to remember to smile. Okay, we're here with Connor Link. He's one of the coaches for 11 Degrees, and he's gonna walk me through the process of figuring out my core values, correct?
Yes. So we're gonna see how far we can get. Here, we're gonna start with core values.
Okay.
That's the most important. Because if you're defining goals without knowing what's important to you, you can start on a path that like you don't want to be walking. So we want to try to. Did you freeze? There you are.
I felt like you froze a little.
You're freezing up on me.
It's all good. It's all good. Keep going. Okay.
I'm gonna share my screen.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go to this, Teresa, and show people kind of what you're looking at. So right now, Teresa is looking at this list of values. So that's the first page. This is the second page. So basically how we're going to do it, I'm just going to bring up a blank document, and as word, I just want you to tell me the ones that pop out to you as important. Okay?
You want me to start?
Go ahead. Yeah. So as you're looking, what words pop out to you just going through it one by one?
Okay. Well, adventure.
Okay. Wow, I can't write. Okay.
Am I only supposed to do like my top 10? Because I have a few more than 10.
It's okay. 10, I just said 10 just to get an idea, but you can have more than that. More is fine.
Accountability.
Accountability. Okay. Okay.
Belonging.
Belonging. Okay.
And then courage.
What else is popping out?
Growth. Grace.
So after belonging is grace, you think?
Growth and grace.
Growth and grace. Okay. You cut out for a second, so I was just making sure that it's okay. Growth, grace. Okay.
Intuition.
Okay. Okay.
Love.
Love.
I have vulnerability on here, but it's more like authenticity is more what I meant.
Okay.
I don't know. Actually, vulnerability's fine. I'll keep vulnerability.
Okay. So after love.
Yeah, vulnerability.
Vulnerability. Okay.
That's something I'm working on, though.
Okay, but it's important.
Yeah, super important to me.
Okay.
Wholeheartedness.
Wholeheartedness. Okay.
Joy.
Joy.
And wealth.
Wealth. Okay.
Did I get leadership? Leadership's also important.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so let's try our best to put these, because we're going to end up with 3. So what we want to try to do is put these in the 3 different categories. So 1, 2, and 3. Just find 3 words that can kind of be a category. Does that sound okay?
Okay.
So we're going to find 3 words that can kind of be their own category, okay? So maybe adventure can be one. So that'll be like the start of the category. And then what's another one that could be a category in itself?
In itself, probably love.
Wealth is different than adventure.
Yeah, wealth is definitely different.
Okay.
And belonging.
Adventure, belonging. Okay. Now, what we're going to do,
honestly,
I'm going to mark those words. Okay, but letter, okay?
Do what? I couldn't hear you.
What words go with adventure on this list? I feel like maybe like ones that pop out to you. Maybe like growth?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that growth happens in adventure. What else? Any other ones?
Well, vulnerability when you're on, it depends on the type of adventure. Like some of the extreme adventures, you have to be pretty vulnerable to what's in store for you. And intuition.
That's true. I think intuition would definitely belong there. Vulnerability might belong more with belonging because I feel like belonging helps you become humble. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think love needs to go under belonging.
Under there. For now, I'll put it under and just.
Okay. You're cutting out a little bit, just so you know.
Let me cross. Okay. Let me switch. Let's see if the room helps. I'm going here. I think this would be better. Okay. So, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. I think leadership should go under wealth. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I'm just going to cross out the ones that we've kind of written already.
Okay.
Intuition, love. Okay, belonging. Okay, where's accountability? Maybe under.
I think wealth.
Wealth? Yeah.
The accountability and leadership.
Yes. I agree. Leadership. Okay, so we got accountability, we got leadership, we got love. Okay, wholeheartedness, probably under belonging.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Now we're left with grace and joy.
I think grace would be under belonging.
Okay.
And I think joy would be under adventure. And wealth.
Okay. Let's just throw that in there. Okay, so that takes care of them. So now we got 3. So kind of how it works is you want to try to make 3 categories. And then now we're just going to go through each category and try to identify like which one speaks the most truth for that. And then we'll have them. So for category 1, what word encapsulates all of those words the best?
I almost think it is the word adventure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it kind of seems like adventure kind of does speak to all those.
And
Okay.
I feel that way about wealth too.
Okay.
I don't know. It's between leadership and wealth.
Okay.
But you also see wealthy people that aren't leaders, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think leadership is a choice, and I think wealth is a tool to be a better leader.
What's more important to you?
Wealth.
Okay. Then that would probably be. What about category 3?
The one that keeps popping out to me is love.
Okay.
But I know that's something I've really been working on, going through the different stages of values and everything with this other program is belonging. It has come back to me feeling like I belong in love and wealth and in everything.
So belonging seems like
Yeah,
it's really important to you.
Yeah, it's a strong word for me, which I never realized until I went through that exercise.
It seems like you're trying to create an intentional community to. Have you felt like that you haven't belonged in the past?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, there's been a lot. Just like the year that my biggest financial year, and one of the things that came to me was I went to this resort and they were treating me like a queen, and I didn't feel worthy of the wealth, and I didn't feel like I belonged there.
Is it like, so have there been communities too that you felt like you didn't belong in?
100%. Yeah, there's always a feeling of not belonging. Honestly, it's something that I'm working on as far as like self-love.
Okay. Then I think that one's really important, because if that's, yeah, I think that sounds like belonging is going to be, because feeling like you belong is probably going to help you access all of these other points.
Yes, I would say
is what it seems like.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'll go back to this real quick. So Teresa, if she was filling out this adventure log, she would go here and she would write out her 3 core values. So she'd have those taken care of. So adventure, wealth, and belonging. Does that feel good?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. And then, so let's go into the quest category. Might as well.
Yeah.
What quest category calls to you, just like as you hear these? Experience something or someone new, create something, change a habit, or learn a new skill.
Well, I mean, what stands out is create something. We're working on creating 11 degrees, like it's in its infant stage.
Cool. So that would be your quest. Creating 11 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's good. So I would write in under what's the quest? Creating 11 degrees. And what is that fulfilling, creating that, like for you, what is that fulfilling, creating 11 degrees? Like why 11 degrees?
Well, I think that's why it's been so amazingly fulfilling, is because it literally fulfills all 3 of these for me. It gives us adventure because we're doing the adventure trips. It's going to create a income for me, and I'm doing everything that I love. And it's also going to give me the belonging. We're creating a tribe for people to feel like they belong.
Totally. So that's important to understand, is like you are creating something that vibes with your core values feels good.
Yeah, it feels really good.
That's why it's so important to define those core values first, because if you don't, you're creating something that's like not in touch with yourself. You're creating something, it's almost like you're creating something with your mind that your body and spirit doesn't agree with.
I could see that. You know, I think I'm thinking about the real estate. You know, it does bring wealth, and there was a sense of belonging with the coaching group that I was with, and that was what made me successful in it, was the belonging part of that.
Mm-hmm.
But it became I mean, it's still an adventure. It's a little bit of an adventure, so I think that's why it did work for me, and it does work for me. But 11 Degrees is more of adventure, is, you know, the travel and the
Mm-hmm.
it's even more depth of adventure for me.
I feel like what you're almost getting at more with the adventure is like, what is different though? Like the adventure of, like, what is the key difference in what 11 Degrees is doing adventure wise and what this real estate company is doing?
Well, if I go back to my original list, I know one of them was growth, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like 11 Degrees is forcing a lot of growth very rapidly. And you know, the real estate definitely forced the growth in the beginning. And I mean, you never know everything, obviously, but I'm more passionate about the growth and the adventure aspects of it. And
Mm-hmm.
also, this gives me it gives me a channel to help other people experience the same thing. And which goes back to belonging, I guess.
So you're creating what you wish you had.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's important. That's important to like remember though, like through the process is like, um, you're creating this because you need it. So you know that it's important because you need it.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. So with the adventure, what is 11 Degrees doing adventure wise that's taking care of the adventure more for you? Because you said during the real estate, there was adventure, but what is the difference there?
Well, I mean, the reason I think that the real estate worked for me for it, and like I said, it still does. I'm still doing real estate, but you know, it's always something different. There's always new clients. You're always going to these different properties, and it is very entertaining, to
Mm,
say the least. But with 11 Degrees, we're taking people into the woods. I resonate more with nature, and so
yes.
taking people into nature and having them experience the earth and themselves in that quiet, in that vast, like you become very human in the middle of nowhere.
Hmm. So
And
that I feel like that's the key difference, right? Is the nature part of it.
yes, 100%. I am the happiest when I'm in nature.
Awesome. That's important to know too. That like the adventure, it is the adventure of it, but it's also like where the adventure is happening is
Yes,
important to you.
yes.
Sweet. That's awesome. Okay, so you might have this dialed a little bit because you're pretty aware of this stuff, but what daily habits would support you and doing and like really getting 11 degrees to be what you feel like is necessary?
Well, something that I do need to do is, you know, Jackie has started doing the 8 o'clock yoga videos, and for me, I need to do the morning workout routine. That's something that we've discussed offering, and I'm believe in lifting weights, and I know that that's going to help offer clients an outlet in the morning, um, and then also just sharing a lot of the stuff that I've already learned through just mindset and all the different books that I've read, and sharing information for people to have the opportunity for growth.
Okay, so morning workout.
Mm-hmm.
What's another one?
Well, sharing tidbits of tools that are going to help you better yourself, giving people a sense of growth.
So sharing consistently, like as a daily habit, how are you going to share as a daily habit? Like, what does that look like?
Well, right now I share every day on social media. I share a positive post for words of affirmation on Instagram and Facebook. And, but I could increase like starting to do videos too.
Okay.
Personally. I mean, I've been doing them like with you and different coaches, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So daily positive affirming posts and maybe adding some videos too. Okay. What's another daily habit that would be helpful? Like what helps center you in the morning? Like, yeah, what helps bring out the most Teresa?
The miracle morning.
Okay, so miracle morning.
And brand new to my routine is Wim Hof breathing.
Awesome.
Super powerful.
Very cool. Okay. Is there anything else that like, I remember today you said you drank coffee instead of green tea. So it seems like you have certain experience of like when you drink more caffeine, you have a different experience to when you drink less caffeine and stuff like that. So is there anything that would help bring you into like more of a centered space?
Honestly, are these habits that I already do, or are these habits that I need to do?
It can be both. I guess it helps to brainstorm things that feel like you need to do that you aren't doing.
One of the silliest habits that I have had as my New Year's resolution multiple times, and I have never been successful as of yet, is the simplicity of drinking water. I do not drink water unless I work out.
Okay. So drinking more water.
Yeah. And then limited, like you said, I literally cut caffeine out of my life. And I usually allow myself 1 cup, and I do it in the afternoon instead of doing it for breakfast. I've noticed when I do it for breakfast, I'm very short and snippety to people.
So maybe you get into your masculine pretty heavy when you drink coffee. Would you feel like that's
a driver?
So very masculine energy.
Yeah.
Which, it's okay to like, maybe if you need to be more assertive, coffee might be okay. But if you need to be like into your feminine, maybe that caffeine's not going to help as much.
True. So don't drink caffeine before I go on a date.
Yes, correct. If you want to be soft.
That's what I'm doing wrong. No.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Drink more water, Wim Hof breathing. Okay, so why has drinking more water been hard for you in the past?
I don't like water. I don't crave water unless I've been working out. So I honestly don't even think about it. Like I literally probably should get a tattoo on my arm that says drink water.
I think everybody should.
Yeah.
Because it's really important.
I literally just don't think about it.
Right. How could you, this works for some things. It could maybe work for water as well. Have you ever done like a challenge where if you get up and like leave your room, you do pull-ups or something like that?
Well, I read the book. What is it? The Power of Habits, and and then there's also atomic habits, and they talk about habit stacking. So every time you do something, you connect another habit to it. And I have tried that. I think it comes back to, and again, this is why we're developing 11 Degrees, is accountability. Like seriously having basic goals that say, I'm going to drink 5 glasses of water a day and I need you to hold me accountable to it. And I haven't been being held accountable for the simplicity of drinking water. But obviously I need some sort of support there because I haven't been able to accomplish that.
What do you drink during the day instead of water?
Well, so instead of drinking caffeine now, I'll do decaffeinated green tea, or I'll do mint tea or chai, and I drink it all day long instead of water.
You can flavor your
coffee.
You can flavor your water.
I know. I know. The flavoring, I've seen those little tiny things that are like, and if you read the ingredients, they're not good for you.
We'll just put lemon or something in there.
I've tried that too. I don't know what the deal is, honestly.
I feel like there's some resistance to drinking water.
Major resistance.
Yeah.
My ego, Shaniqua, she does not want water.
I wonder what that's about.
I don't know.
Okay, well, maybe this. For your morning routine, fit in like at least in the morning and at night, drinking a certain amount of water, just so you can start the day like hydrating. Even if you don't necessarily love drinking water, just fitting that into your morning and nightly routine. Like when you like before you journal, or do you morning workout, or do your miracle morning, just drink like a big glass of water.
I'll have to start with a tiny glass.
Okay, drink a little bit of water.
1 glass of water. Okay.
But I think fitting that in and adding it to your routine, especially with like journaling or something, could be a good way to at least start and end the day with hydration.
I agree. That's a great
Cool.
idea.
That feels pretty good. Are there any more daily habits that feel important?
Honestly, for 11 Degrees, I need to get very clear on my calendar, because I have a lot of things going on right now with all these different appointments, and our weeks are going by so fast. I don't even feel like, I'm like, where did my week go? And so I need to be very clear and intentional with my calendar and what I'm in. I need to schedule time, like to work on website and technology. I need to schedule a time every day where I'm, just getting more intentional with my calendar is something I really
Okay.
Yeah.
How about more intention with time?
Yes.
And then we can put specifically calendar.
Yes.
Because really the meat of that is you want to be more intentional with your time.
Yes, absolutely.
And a way to assist with that is your calendar.
Yes.
Because it is important to do you feel like time's kind of getting away from you right now?
Yes, I do.
What does that make you feel like when you don't feel like you have control of your time?
Out of control. It makes me feel out of control. I feel disoriented. Yeah.
Cool. That's really important. It feels like the intention with your time feels really important.
Yes. Hey,
It feels like
I'm gonna pause you for 1 second. Hold on.
okay.
Sorry. I thought I
You're
left
good.
my dogs outside.
You're
Speaking
good.
of time, intention
You're
with my
good.
time. Okay.
Something that I've talked to people about as well is your morning and your nighttime, like make time or make a block that is like sacred for you, that like you don't mess with
Right.
and don't budge.
A routine. Yeah.
Just
And
like a
honestly,
a block that you just like have space for whatever you need to do.
right.
Because it's really easy to overbook yourself, but you need that like block that's like, no, like this is time for me to take care of what I need to take care of.
Yeah.
So that way, if you do get overwhelmed, you still have that space to like, like literally just to feel overwhelmed. Because sometimes like we're overwhelmed and we don't give ourselves even space to feel overwhelmed. So just
That's
having that space, you can actually
now
feel what you.
when you're saying that, do you mean to set aside like an hour of nothing but just a time where I can do things that I need to catch up on, or just take a step back? Is that what you mean, or do you mean set a time aside for my daily routines?
Set time beside this is not this is beside your daily routines.
Okay.
Like set time that like you don't mess with, that nobody messes with. It's just like Teresa time that you take care of yourself.
I love that. Do you do an hour in the morning and an hour at night?
I mean, I'm pretty open right now to take care of to have me time. But in general, like in the past, I can overbook myself. So just having a block that's like I don't mess with, at least it gives me the peace of mind to where if I'm feeling really overworked or overwhelmed, like I can take time for myself, and nothing is going to take over for that. So it could be in the morning, it could be at night. I think sometimes it's good to have it at night because you won't distract yourself or watch a bunch of videos or something like that. Uh, and like just whatever feels best for you. Have that block. What time frame feels good for you to have something like that?
I mean, I want to only give myself 30 minutes, but I'm going to be really realistic and tell myself I need at least an hour.
Okay. And that's your hour. Like you're gonna do whatever you want with that hour. So it can change. Like what happens in that hour can be whatever you feel like you need to do.
Right. And I'll put that in the daily habits then. Set aside my hour.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then maybe and when you have that hour, kind of start to take note of stuff that feels good. Like, what do you need? Like for me, like honestly, like taking an Epsom salt bath, that's great. I have like a small list of things that I know will help me if in that time that I have for myself. So taking note of like the stuff that feels really nice is good.
I really needed to hear this because what's happening right now, and Jackie has brought me aware of it, is I give all week, and people take my energy and my time and say, I coach different people, and my energy level, I want it to be high for them. I want to show up. So by
Mm-hmm.
Friday, I am so drained that I'm in a frequency of sadness and crying and overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
So
yeah,
so if you were talking to like if so look at that and say, if you were coaching somebody, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them what you just told me. I need to do self care every day, morning and night, and I need to shut off my phone and give myself a bubble, a space where I can re-energize myself because I'm not allowing that to I'm not doing that right now. I'm allowing it to continue, if that makes sense,
That
until I
makes
just
sense.
break. And then I end up spending either all day Friday or all day Saturday completely off the grid, which I still do believe that you do need to take that self-care day.
Oh, totally. Yeah, that's
Um,
important.
but sometimes, my job doesn't allow for that. So I need to have a consistency in self-care and not just go until I break every week. So, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Let's go to the next part. So, and this is also cool. This is cool because you're creating through 11 Degrees a system like this, but who are a few mentors you can check in with during your quest? So this is the part we're doing right now.
Well, obviously you.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
Jackie.
I'm gonna write it down real quick.
Okay.
Mentors. Check in. Okay. Jackie. Let me see how many I put. I put 4, I think. Yeah. So 2 more.
I would like to say Gerard with the personal development that I'm with.
Okay.
And then one more person, and this is someone to hold me accountable to daily habits.
It is it's more just accountability in general. You're gonna have some check-in times during your timeline that we're gonna build. So it's to have people that you're gonna like check in with, and you have a date set to check in with them with how you're doing. But it's also to really be aware of the people that you can rely on when you need help.
I mean, there's a lot of 11 Degrees coaches that have been amazing and helpful. Honestly, I can't think of anyone though for what I'm focusing on right now. I can't think of anyone else that really stands out to me. Maybe that person will come to me.
Okay. You can, 3's fine.
Okay.
You can stick with 3. Okay. So let's talk about the timeline. So when's the start date? Start date's kind of now. So we'll just do, what's today's date?
3:30. And actually, you can probably add David's name on there.
Okay.
Because David's got us working on projects too. So.
Okay. So 3. Let's see here. Now, what is the kind of the broad duration of your quest? Because your quest is creating 11 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
But we could also make it a little bit, if you wanted to, it could be like creating like a certain segment of 11 degrees or something like that. Like maybe launching.
Yeah, launching and getting the membership started.
Okay, so what does that look like? How long are you kind of looking at that?
Well, I had a personal goal of April 30th, but because of everything happening, and I said 50 members. My goal was to have 50 members by April 30th. The other course I'm in, they're telling me because I'm starting from scratch, that's the ego creating probably a number that's too big that will end up having me give up. So
Let's just focus on launching the platform.
Okay.
Just because you have control of one, the other you do not have control over.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And you may not have control of every part of launching the platform, but at least, how many people sign up, you don't really have control over, but getting this going.
Yeah, I have
control
you do. Over having it ready. Absolutely. So today.
That's just real quick. Sorry, real quick. That's just an important thing to think about when you're thinking about goals. Make sure they're things that you have that are in your control.
Okay.
But that's just an aside. Okay. So yeah, what do you think duration wise?
I would like to say April 30th. Like it's exactly how.
Okay.
I want it. That gives me 1 month.
Okay. So then,
Honestly, that in itself is all I can handle.
okay, that's good. That's good to be aware of that.
It's a lot.
Yeah, so you don't want to add anything else. Just
No.
keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So we're going to do 25%, 50%, and then 75%. Okay, and then mentor. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to, oops, write out. So 25%, around what time frame would that be for you? Like that would probably be pretty soon.
Well, that's 1 week.
Mm-hmm. So what date would be around that for you?
So in 1 week, let me look at a calendar. By April, let's see, April 7th, I need to be at 25%.
April 7th? And this is more like, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be at 25%. It's just telling you that like you're 25% through like your goal time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Because maybe you could like have it halfway done by then. It's just saying like you're 25% through like your goal time frame.
Okay. So the next one is April 14th.
Okay.
And then the next one is April 21st.
Okay. And then what mentor are you going to talk to for each of those milestones?
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like you to be the April 7th mentor.
Okay, sweet. Do that.
Because I'm going to be working on the website stuff nonstop and just, yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway. And
totally.
then probably 50% would be Jackie.
Okay.
As a check-in, and then Gerard would be the 75%.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. So then let's just brainstorm how you can start. So you kind of have a leg up because you're kind of going at what you want to do. But let's talk about, I guess from when this started until now, what has gotten in the way? How can you really start to be intentional about building what you want to build?
Definitely my time, prioritizing my time.
Okay. That's good. Because that seems like probably the most important part for you, because you've talked about overwhelm, you've talked about overwork, you've talked about being feeling like you're out of control. So prioritizing time kind of like takes care of a lot of your issues.
Yeah.
That you've been having.
Definitely.
Sweet. Okay. What else, like starting wise, like how can you really get them? Because momentum is a big word that keeps popping up to me when I talk about this, how you can start.
So do you mean just building momentum?
Yeah, just like how can you really get started? Like how can you just get this project really rolling?
Well, I can commit to making a day where I do my first workout video myself and not keep putting all of that onto Jackie.
Okay.
And also, I've committed to her doing a mindset video.
Okay. So taking leadership,
Yeah.
like we talked about earlier, taking leadership, and even if you don't feel like it's perfect, getting some content out there that's yours, that you've made.
And honestly, a big thing there on how to start is going to entail me watching a lot of how-to videos.
Okay. Can I share the best advice I feel like I've gotten in a long time?
Yes, please.
Uh, Ask yourself, especially when doing videos and stuff like that, what would this look like if it were easy?
Yes. Yes. I'm going to write that down.
Because with everything, like everything to do with like making videos, posting online, you can do everything and anything with it. So it's really important just to make it simple. You can always make it better. You can always add to it, but really what people want is they want to see like you doing what you're doing, and that's the most important part.
Yes. And we've been trying to live by that, just simplifying everything. But yeah, but also at the same time building a strong foundation and,
Mm-hmm.
and expecting growth.
And a foundation like it can be a really simple foundation, but that doesn't mean it's not sturdy.
Right. Very true. Very true. So
Sweet. That's the process.
awesome. I love it.
How long did it take? Just curious.
Did we start at 5? I think it took us about 50 minutes, give
So
or
about
take.
an hour. Yeah, it takes about an hour. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
So something I've realized through doing this is I'm gonna make an ebook. I'm gonna get that done because you know why not?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I'll just let anybody that sees this know that hopefully pretty soon you'll be able to actually have this as an ebook.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
Do
do
you
you
have
want
any?
to
Do you have
end?
any?
I was going to say, do you want to end the video then? And I highly recommend anyone that wants to go through this process, um, go onto the 11 Degrees website, and which we're working on. And Connor is a coach, and this can be for anything that you're wanting, you know, any aspect, correct? Like if they're wanting to, if they have financial goals, physical goals,
Yeah.
everything.
Because it's really you're connecting with yourself. Like you're finding out what you value, and then you're working towards your goals, like with that in mind. So I feel like it empowers you, and whatever you're doing, it will be helpful.
Cool. Okay, well, thank you. I'm going to end the recording. This has been
Sweet.
amazing. All
Thank
right.
you.